and decide I am not the center, the goalkeeper. I hate being goalkeeper. Being a goalkeeper is kind of bad. Yeah. Well, so,
Oh yeah, show we test out TikToks to see if they're real. Welcome to Black Hole Craft, the show where we test out TikToks to see if they're real. Man, this shit kind of. Where's that? Make it. Where's that? With evidence. What? We have second shit. Where's that? Where's that? Respond with evidence. Everything's being. What? Is that? Let's check out now. How did you second shit? Okay.
Skibidi toilet. Mommy said no more skibidi toilet for me. Prima chop queen. Better Estás, estás bonito. I'm a track queen, the pain of me for the you. I get high with my best. When you suck up all getting far, and put it down. Oh, yeah. Get out! Misa Musikin.
What is the worst shotgun in Fortnite history? We have another banger video from Resouth. I'm gonna watch it and see if I agree on the shotguns. Fortnite released 27 different shotguns since release. 27 worst shotguns in Fortnite history. I'm gonna rank every single one of them. Hold up for it. Without even thinking too much, I'm gonna say two-shot shotgun is the worst one. Or the, if you count this, the makeshift shotgun. Well, some and which one? That's without really thinking too hard. All right, the OG pump. Let's be real. If you think about the game, you're gonna think about the pump shotgun, the pump star, or the regular assault. Yeah, I mean it's here. This or S tier gun. Oh, he's counting the gold and purple version. I thought it was just gonna be like the up to blue. Yeah, yeah, it's an S tier if we're counting the spaz. One for red versus. I mean, it's S tier regardless, but it's the skins will they may leave jumping in. They always carry a gold pump, despite all the other shotgun variations there. It stood the test of time, and if it was to be put back into the current meta, back in OG, they actually removed the damage cap from this, so a gold could do a 203 facial damage.
So the one pump still in. I mean, the real question is there going to be any other shotgun?
It's so much better when it can do one pump.
Tactical shotgun. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a fan of the tactical.
Oh, really? I actually really like the chat.
Very, very well done. It is possible.
I actually really like it. It's one of my favorite like fast shotguns, auto shotguns.
It feels like a very well balanced job. Now, the big issue I have with the tactical shotgun in terms of balance is the purple and gold variants. So it's kind of like
Those are OP.
weapons. I'll be totally honest with you. The purple deals 75 cluster damage, where the gold does it 79. So what we ended up doing with this was just looking at a wall. If there's a player on the other side of it, they just free fire, damage the wall.
Yeah.
If the player edits, they get hit. If they don't edit, then they damage the wall the same amount as a projectile. So you can just stand there.
Yeah, it's actually one of the strongest auto shotguns.
It's here, tactical shotgun. It's actually very well balanced. All. So I'm going to put it down into C tier.
Oh. I guess he's not just ranking them based on strength. He's ranking them on if they're balanced, which makes sense because there's some shotguns that are really, really OP and not good for the game. I do think C tier is a little bit low for the auto shotgun though, because I feel like there's other auto shotguns that are obnoxious. And I think maybe the purple and gold version is really strong, but I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of like a low rating.
Put this into A tier because
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Next up is the heavy shotgun. Now I
hate the heavy.
I hate
It's so hard to hit with it.
guys, look at this. This is a slightly more longer range shotgun. We have a lot of variations of
It doesn't even have that good range.
shotgun that like longer range into few high.
The Ranger shotgun is better at long range. The combat is better. Oh,
incredibly inconsistent. And
it's so inconsistent.
do overcome the damage to the headshot. If you just never
So there are 300.
shotgun having like 20s, 30s, and maybe the occasional 4 in bit.
Yeah, I'll put this in D or F here.
I've always had the feet for
I definitely.
For me, I think this is an A tier gun because it ends up being very well balanced.
See, this, I'm not gonna lie, this tier list is confusing me. I get what he's trying to do. I guess he's putting the tier based on balance. Balance alone. In my head, I'm rating it based on how effective it is. I hate the heavy shotgun. It's bad. It shouldn't even be in the loophole. So in my head, it's D or F. I like the gun.
Simply the answers. And for me, this is kind of an interesting weapon approach to the game because holding down
Single pellet.
is 100% accurate. Single bullet, that is, which deals massive damage. So it's pretty high.
It was kind of hard to use.
It's good fire. It's kind of just RNG with a single bullet to the land with the crosshair. I don't particularly like RNG weapons like that.
Yeah.
If it was 100% accurate, that might be really, really cool. But to be honest, it's just too RNG.
Very random.
And if not, you just have to sit in ADS, which is just very clunky and just kind of slow. So for me, the single shot, I'm putting that down in D tier. Yeah, shout out to the Heisted Reaper shotgun.
Okay, this one was broken, bro. The Heisted Reacher shotgun. It was so broken, bro.
Which was insanely
One shot's all walls.
not memories in the field. They were actually just nightmares of people using this against me, replacing my wall every single time. But currently in the Nitro season where everyone can just run through.
It's basically like Nitro on a gun.
You thought them to be perfect for this man. Sorry, that enough. Just chuck this in as well. I need to tweet that. Hold on. And next up, we have the double rated. Now, I'm going to be controversial here and say this is completely awful. Now, if you're in someone's face,
It's only really good if you're right in someone's face. And then the exotic version of this gun is kind of working against itself because you guys remember, it kind of push people away from you. But you're going to stay close that you can actually do more damage to them. I think the exotic shotgun or the double barrel should have pushed people away. You should actually pull them to you. You should have like a gravity effect that pulls them.
Yes.
Shot hits harder.
Yes.
You an exercise. Two shot them on instantly. The max volume shot damage is really
Are you serious right now?
the shots immediately the wipes one out instantly. But then you have to say reload the gun. Also has the zero Where you can double bump back then. In chapter 3, you can double bump with gorgeous technique of actually playing out. Just have to stick to their balls and then hit over the shots. If you don't hit over and then
মোবাইলে
well,
কিছু নেই ছিল
barrel shotgun straight down into the
I don't disagree with that.
I want to see 7, chapter 2, season 5. My memory's off. There we go. This was incredibly buffering as everything felt this. If you kind of patrol through the fire, do backwards. And you could double bump. They had no shots at delay. Not including shots. Next we have combat shotgun. Now I honestly just think the shotgun with a burn.
It's okay right now. It's actually okay right now. It used to be really powerful in chapter 1. It was broken in chapter 1.
This was one of the most broken weapons Fortnite had ever had it.
Yep.
Now was combat shotgun, pump, and tactical shotgun. If I remember correctly, here's a tactical relevant to this conversation. She had a pump you were going against a player who was good and had the combat shotgun. They could just do so much damage to that they had a cat. You can use your pump to damage them because you probably feel like a 20 or 30 decent damage to that range. If you had an assault rifle or an FMG, you would know how damaging someone with the combat shotgun.
Yeah.
Of course, it's nerfed and then buffed a little bit again. Where in the current season, chapter 5, season 3, it actually feels really good. And like, it's a bit balanced right now. Wasn't so that they were getting shots. Like that medium to long range does a really good job.
Yeah, especially like the legendary and mythic version.
To the point where you're punished for little tool rotations by guys who holding you with the combat shotgun. So that, in my eyes, a weapon that I used to hate where I
B tier, A tier.
combat shotgun top in S tier. Behind the top, of course.
I'd say so. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I was so confused as to why it's an S tier. I was like, I was reading this.
The drum shotgun.
Oh God.
I got to have an all-timer.
He didn't even spend any time on the drum. It was just empty.
Hard shotgun. First introduced in chapter 2.
Everyone hated the charge when it first came out, but it required you to know how to adjust your playstyle.
Just pull down the card. It will essentially gain damage the longer you hold it until a max. Now, this at the time was actually the first season that this was common. I feel like the charge shotgun got a lot of features when it first came out.
Yeah.
It's kind of clunky to use. You don't have that acyclical like cat fire that's it's a bit of delay. However, it does massive damage and range, and it's an incredibly skillful weapon.
It's a very skillful weapon.
With emotes. Now, I've always loved metas which had both charge up
And started with luxuries, the big clicks it. There are no limits. No limits. Just luxury unleashed. Enjoy unmissable offers on the largest selection of iconic brands, fashion, watches, handbags, fragrances, and much more.
bullshit.
and the hump. I think there's been some of the
Sing a track queen, I heard the breakdown.
it's the best tier.
I would put it in A tier.
Now,
Like this one was left on. I love the Dragon Breath.
version of the double barrel shotgun that I put straight down into head here before. It does massive body shot damage in epic
156 or 158, yeah.
and it goes to level 165. One pump, incredibly busted. Plus, if you're not playing in competitive modes, it drops fire on
And that pretty much finishes them off.
not improvement because fire is not able to create. The problem is that lag, so you don't necessarily have that effect with the improvement. However, huge damage coming out of the shotgun. Well, I only had a single bullet in the chamber where there were this
Yeah.
no down for every single one.
And it took like 5 seconds to reload.
Double barrels. A lot of people around the time.
It was though.
I think this is going to be a B tier shotgun for me personally.
Very easy document.
Like this. But, there are a lot of teams who using it when it was in meta for one single season in Chapter 2, Season 5. Lever action shotgun. Oh my goodness. This crap. Awful.
It's so bad. I'm sorry, Nick 830. It's so bad.
Double barrel, okay. Horrific. That's immediate.
Look, it's Nick 830 you again. And he died.
Lever action shotgun. This is the typical monster right here. This is doing nothing at all. I don't even know if it's possible to get a max damage shot with this. I think the only person off the top of my head who likes this is Nicky Berry. Congratulations. on his icon skin. But this gun is a trash. This thing is
It's so bad.
really difficult to hit a backstab at all. Even if you're like right up in their face. 25, one or two things going for here, which is the faster fire rate and the fast pull-up time. So yeah, quickly when you edit plays and shoot them, but you're hitting for 40s, 50s, it basically a lot of unnecessary editing with mechanical plays. You have to do it in order to use the shotgun effectively, and you have to be right up in their face. Now, if the meta only had lever shotguns, for example, in Chapter 2, Season 5, when it was going to get used, which was the one we mentioned earlier, with the season which had no pumps, either way, I think the meta that had charge, lever,
I'd still pick the charge.
Someone just thought, oh, I've forgotten already. So without pumps, the lever action kind of fit into the meta. But it returned in chapter 3 or 4. I can't remember in particular which season. It was awful. This thing was truly horrific in the season it returned. And anytime you found it on the floor, it was a waste of time. Yeah. Just over here, and here, salt up. I feel like everything in my list here is just going S or S. Makeshift. Now, this is an interesting thought. There was actually a social. The makeshift shotgun, it's not a strong shotgun on its own, right?
But if you knew how to quickly get the mechanical parts and then access the crafting menu, if you got a blue makeshift, you now have a purple spaz, just like that, like at the beginning of the game.
Season 6. You just run the fight itself. It was fast. It had time. It actually dealt good damage. It's because it's such a small reticule. Now, obviously, the gimmick in this season was upgraded. I like the idea of going up. To be honest, a lot of times back then, you just ended up broken. Times, so we're just going to see very well balanced, but I definitely would want to see this return again. Speaking of Jack Machine, oh my god, Stronger Down has maybe the most broken shotgun added. Yeah, at this time, I was still playing.
And they nerfed it, and it was still broken.
10 different videos. But at that moment, you could just run into anyone's box, and the way it worked was it was an auto shotgun, but it shot two shots, like making some damage or something like that. But each of those single shots would do like 50, 100 damage like that, no problem at all. It was an absolute monster, and I think that's probably
Oh my god.
Franks I've ever gotten in tournaments when you running this thing, it was insanely busted on the other. With that into end tier, hardly all shotgun. Now, all shotgun in my eyes is
I forgot about this.
has the exact same fire rate, which is 1.5. But I have a little bit higher.
It's like the Chapter 2 version of the auto.
It still felt very when it was in the meta.
Yeah.
That was essentially just because the bullet time was so slow.
It was very slow.
More damage and structure damage. So
It was very slow.
just stand up someone's wall and just shoot it or shoot it. One of this more of a balanced version, but the slower bullet time is always something I really despise in these guns. So I'm put this into easier. The Striker pump shotgun. Those when Epic just decided to start
Replacing the pump, pretty much.
also called pump, but
It's pretty much the same.
but I don't know why they really cool like about the
I could not get out of the box.
firing. And on the base it was
Those things really have the button.
and then almost the higher the faster. So it's a trigger function. It's a little bit slower than the pump shot.
That action was actually very awkward. I always felt like when it first came out, Happy Green, it was very awkward to use just go
0.65 rather than 0.7.
I don't know why they didn't
Still the same more than the pump. And the problem with this is this is a awkward memory.
Yeah.
Try to do and you fail. Now that's a skill.
It is a skill issue, but after using the pump for so many years,
Point blank for this weapon. A really high amount of body shot damage. So 126 body shot is really strong with a gold. What it then was, it kind of flipped where you dealing really small amounts of damage in Chapter 3, Season 1, before. Now when you do this, every single thought you're doing with this, the harder. There you have,
even if it's on a headshot.
minimum damage shot. Nothing with this. Outside of that, yeah, good range, insurance, balance, but body shot damage is maybe a little bit too high. So for me, I'm going to put it to the B tier because it does get a little bit less range and it's continually giving counts over and over again. In definitely Season 3,
The Ranger shotgun. I actually think it's a really well balanced, really strong shotgun.
in my eyes. A little bit now, the Ranger shotgun has a single shot in the clip.
It has really good range.
I don't know, I can get that.
We talked about earlier. Yeah, we those stats.
after. The point of it is, again, they're long-range shotguns rather than a slow in-range talk. But another issue with these, which I have not yet mentioned, is the fact that shotguns just so you can't really use this as an inbox shot. If you miss, it's just over. Then you get right in the no. So it's very, very risky thing. If it was a good game, great. That's not the goal of most players to detect. Yeah, but the Ranger was actually really useful in zero builds. I'm sorry to talk about that, but zero build was very strong. Oh yeah, I mean, I think one way. So I'm going to put it up to D here, which is still pretty bad. Two shotgun. I didn't like this. I didn't like it. But also at the same time, it felt very awkward. Now, this one's looking burst. So I don't know why I think you seem to love burst weapons in the chapter, and you usually trying to implement burst weapons a lot. But the first weapon, it just comes straight. Now, similar to the primal, this shots one bridge on top of each other, and has a max like 5 or 15. Essentially, you get 4 bursts with 1 unit. So for each individual shot, it didn't actually use that much damage. So a lot of the time, you find stinks. Either need to get one more second, or you can find like 12 ahead.
Baby, you can fly away.
And very, very frequently, one of the shot. However, I will mention at the time, this was incredibly strong if used correctly in close proximity. You could really deal with incredible damage with it. But again, it's a little bit funky, so for me, I think the B tier. I'll put it even lower. Another version of the Prime. Prime. I like the Prime. I've seen a player over the years ask the Prime shotgun to return, and it seems that first shot hit harder than the weapon. Now, if you don't remember, Prime shotgun dealt significantly more damage with the first shot in the glimpse rather than the other 3 shots. So I had 4 shots from another shot as a player fits that way. Then you get into a box and you can single bullet, and then you have to switch back to the shotgun, and then there was subsequent shots which do significantly less damage. That's really a lot of people felt this was really well balanced. The actual damage parameters that he's doing. However, as I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of continually having to reload golf. You have to reload going to training. Like that, a lot of people feel it's very balanced, and I do as well. But let's get into the Evo Curl, my god. No, really shotgun. After watch, I think they're trying to do it Evo Curl with shotgun. However, it felt like the shotgun never did any damage. And there were upgrading effects too. I like the upgrading effect. I just wish they would bring that back for different guns. Silly because eventually what we end up happening here, the players just continually keep that NPCs. It ended up getting food for cops, so there's a chance to problem there. But the gimmick was just kind of silly, just to upgrade each chase so the amount of damage was dealt with it. Again, the Prime shot. No, I actually don't think it's silly. I think it's silly that you can climb up every season, but I think they should re-experiment with that mechanic. Like, yeah, it doesn't think it works well in Fortnite. But it did that, Next up, we have the Thunder Pump shotgun. Is it called Thunder Pump or Needle Thunder?